All right, so many folks out there spent 20 years accumulating their equity in their real estate, and it can evaporate within 12 months. And the funny thing is, nobody is going to warn you about that or tell you that is happening. Even though we do see cracks, right? Like nowadays, obviously, since 2022, we have seen the cracks. Some people are being delusional, still thinking, hey, look, 2026 is the year of recovery. For some odd reason, I don't know why they keep saying that. But listen, everybody is allowed to live their dream or their imagination. Let me call it that way. And the beginning of the year, like why 2026 is becoming extremely hard to navigate because there's so many things happening simultaneously. Yes, they were happening all along, but now this is that actual bottleneck situation where everything is kind of being summarized in one single year. And just to get back to some of the viewers and people watching and commenting, and that's fine, like not a problem at all. But when some comments rise up and they say, well, Canadian real estate is bulletproof and it cannot happen. Like the equity cannot be lost. The prices cannot fall. Yes, condo can, but detached or single family residential homes, they cannot. And I'm scratching my head sitting there and wondering, where are they getting this information from? Of course it can fall. Everything can fall. And we are seeing it throughout history all the time, right? Whether it is happening in our country, and it has happened before, or whether it is happening to the neighboring country, or whether it's happening across the world. Like there are multiple examples everywhere, right? Everywhere stating what is going on. For example, Japan crashed, never recovered. And you know what? Their prices were through the roof, absolutely through the roof. What is up with that? Venezuela, what is up with that? United States in 2008, how come they lost their equity or that dip? How come that happened, right? And I remember at that time, us Canadians here or across the border, we were pointing fingers and laughing at them and saying how they're reckless and they don't know how to deal with money, and the banks were borrowing 110% on the dollar and yada yada yada. They were buying cars, they were buying this, they were buying that. Well, look at us. We did the same thing just a decade later, right? And it just goes to show you, it's not sometimes, I would say, us as people, it's getting that particular opportunity what makes the difference, right? So Canadians got the opportunity to dig into their own pockets deeper than expected, and they did, right? And now we are here where we are, and people are still claiming that there's that, untouchable ceiling. You know what? I think the ceiling broke, and 2026 will reveal so much more, I would say, uncertainty, right? And it just goes back to a few more things. Real estate trade nowadays, this is what I'm hearing and what I'm kind of experiencing firsthand. It's starting to behave like Facebook Marketplace, right? Like I'm just giving an example here, right? So, someone posts a particular item, a household item or any type of item, and then there are like multiple comments or offers that are not reasonable, funny, interesting, low blow, not an offer at all. It's just like kicking tires and stuff like that. And it seems like that the same thing or similar behaviors are happening when it comes to real estate, right? So, their offers, they're extremely low blow, right? Extremely low blow. And, like at this point, it's probably not a good time to expect that low because there's a little bit more buffer in the market. But the behavior, it's there. It's the same behavior. And I don't know, that's not good. So moving on forward, it's like, even with that Calgary property that I have mentioned in my previous video, it's still on the market. And guess what? Calgary market, it's crickets. There's nothing happening. And again, these offers that are low blow, tire kicking kind of thing, like 70% off type of deal. Now, will the market push to an abyss, right? And how far the bottom is, I don't think anybody on this planet is able to calculate it. But I believe that at this point where we're standing, the beginning of 2026, there's no story that could convince me otherwise, saying that we have already hit the bottom in 2025. So there's a couple of things. The illusion of security, right? A big word, right? Security. Most homeowners think equity is safety, right? But equity is only when a real estate sale happens or when the transaction actually happens. And then most people are not calculating what's happening in between. It's all gross. Oh, I bought for this, I sold for that, and that's it. Like they're not calculating what's actually left, right, on the table. Until then, it's just a number on paper that depends on market demand. And that's a big one. The 2026 buyer disconnected. Younger buyers don't value the same homes the same way. It is true, right? Like younger buyers have a different mindset. The needs might have changed since, somebody buying it in the 70s or 80s, etc., right? So it's completely different. Generational income gaps and lifestyle preferences mean older homes often aren't marketable anymore. And we have these behemoth homes in every community, on every street corner, corner lot, nice fence, huge house, which most people are looking at it today and are probably commenting, oh my God, taxes, oh my God, utilities, oh my God, what a wasted space, and I don't need that. I don't want that burden on my back. I don't care about 4,742 square feet. I don't care. Like it's too much, right? So I think people are gearing themselves more towards more lifestyle, more freedom versus being kind of buried in death like maybe a previous generations or whatever. It's not that the house lost value, it's that the new buyers don't want it. Exactly. 12-month vaporization. Price corrections, interest rate impact, a buyer exit, rapid devaluation. And yes, so the actual fixed interest rate, if you're following the banks, and it seems like everybody is following the banks only nowadays, right? Like, 5 years ago, we had the situations where people were just valuing, I just want to buy something, and today they're just looking at that ticker or that percentage point. So the fixed rates are going up or they have gone up already. A listing sit, often don't sell, equity fades over time. Even a 15 to 20% market dip can increase 10 plus years of growth in 1 year. That is so true. What people are just now realizing, neighbors aren't rich, they are trapped. So more and more, that story is coming out, right? So I fully believe that most people will be exposed. The fakers, the makers, fake it till you make it type of deal, right? Dip into their savings, dip into their equity, just hope for a sunny day and all of that stuff. Fine. Maybe a sunny day will come around. Not a problem. Summer is around the corner. But if your wallet is empty and if you don't know how to manage or don't have the ability to dip even into more debt in order to survive, then it's just a bad situation for most people. And that is another trigger that will trigger another slide, right, of market corrections and price corrections, because people will not be able to hold on, and then they will be pushed into a particular price. And if they don't get that desired price, then it's a one-way street. You gotta keep producing until you actually sell, and who knows, and maybe at a loss, maybe at a huge loss, maybe a bankruptcy. I don't know. Call to wake up. If your home isn't desirable, your equity isn't real. Don't miss time in the market for a guarantee. And those are two big things that I wrote down, right? I mean, the equity is the equity, but if it's just sitting there, it's just sitting there, and it doesn't mean anything, right? And yes, you can borrow against your equity, and it comes with the price, it comes with monthly payments and everything else. So it's like you can liquidate it kind of in a way, but you still kind of have to pay back, right? So it's not like your cash, it's not something that you can maybe dispose something else without a consequence. So that's that, right? And then like if you're waiting for a guarantee, or that particular month or that particular year to guarantee an uptick in the market, then who knows? Like, I mean, like many have commented on this channel, like including myself, like, guys, I think we're like at least out till 2030, best case scenario. And we don't even know what's going to happen. Like the world is reacting and acting, and so many things are happening so quickly that like we literally have to go day by day, and the complete landscape can change. But one thing is for sure that I still believe in, that the market cannot bounce back to a desirable number. And that's important. Most people say, so what do you mean a desirable number? Well, look, most people want the market to correct by 25% up, which I think is almost impossible in 2026. So I hope you gained some value in this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.